Growing up in Australia, many of you will be familiar with that heart-pounding, split-second fear that you step too close to a brown snake, only to be reassured by the flash of a bright blue tongue instead. Unless you're Macy. This little girl has been looking for these things in her garden since she was old enough to walk. Mummy, mummy, I found a lizard, nearly half her size. Australian blue tongues are an incredibly iconic, successful radiation of lizards and are often the subjects of numerous international studies of lizard behaviour, ecology and physiology. Blue tongues come in numerous different shapes and sizes, from giant forms in northern Queensland and Papua New Guinea to pygmies here in South Australia. We have stumpy-tailed, armour-plated shinglebacks like this guy and smooth-scaled, elongate pink tongues. So we know a lot about modern blue tongues and their relatives, but very little about how long they've been here and what's shaped them. That's where my PhD comes in. I'm looking at the fossil history of this group. To do that, I've been studying micro-CT scans of the skulls of these animals, living and fossil, and coding minute differences about their anatomy, entering this as a series of numbers into a large spreadsheet. This is then combined with molecular data from other researchers here at Flinders University and run through a powerful program called BEAST, which gives me a phylogeny, or a family tree. And that's when things get interesting. So far, it turns out that the nearest living relative to this guy is actually that tiny pygmy blue tongue. I know, right? How do I explain this? Well, I hit the jackpot when my lab group opened up a new excavation in northern New South Wales, where we've found a new shingleback. So the modern shingleback that we know today is represented by these white armour bony plates. That's the biggest, gnarliest shingleback I could find in South Australian Museum. This one above is our new fossil. It's amazing. And this guy gives us a little bit more insight into modern shinglebacks. It turns out that they weren't always alone, and that modern shinglebacks and pygmy blue tongues are more than likely just the last surviving remnants of their own special groups. That makes them even more special than we originally thought. But I'm still left asking a lot of questions. Okay, why is this guy gone extinct when something as vulnerable as a pygmy blue tongue is still here? Why, after digging up the same site for 100 years, is this the first time we've seen this thing? What other fossil reptiles have we been missing? I'm going to need another 3 years. Thank you.